What does digging have to do with going deep? Believe it or not, digging has a lot to do with going deep when it comes to the spirit realm. We have to learn how to dig in order to go deep. Now, if you look in the Word of God, in the book of Luke, when Jesus gives his Sermon on the Mount, he gives us all this information how to live his spiritual life, how to live his successful life. And at the end of his sermon, he says one thing that really sticks out in Luke chapter 6, verse 48. He says that those that keep his commandments, those that keep his sayings, he says he is like a man which built his house and dig deep and laid the foundation on a rock. Now, the thing about the rock is that people always are so quick to go and preach and teach about the rock. But the thing is, before Jesus even mentioned the rock, he talked about digging deep. We got to learn how to dig deep in this time. Now, I don't know about you, but digging deep, if you ever dug a big hole, the deeper you go, the more pain is involved in your digging. I don't know about you, but I've dug a big hole before. And when you dig that hole, it's painful. Now, I remember digging a 5-foot hole. The first time I dug a 5-foot hole, I remember taking a shovel and hammering into the ground. And when I did that, it wasn't a smooth process. That's the thing about going deep. It's not a smooth process. People say, oh, just let it come to you. Yeah, it will come to you, but it's not as smooth as you think. When you're digging, in the act of digging, you're going through hard pan, you're going through clay, you're hitting boulders, you're hitting rock, you're hitting concrete. It's a process. It is consistency. Consistent. When you are persistent with digging the hole, then you get somewhere. But I was digging a hole before. And when I dug that hole, it was painful. I was sweating. And I remember when I came down to 5 feet of the hole, that's almost as tall as I am. When I came out of that hole, I remember climbing out of that hole. I was shaking. My body was shaking. My head was hurting. I was thirsty. That's the thing about digging. Jesus said that you got to dig deep in order to create a solid, firm foundation in your life. A solid, firm foundation and where the Spirit wants you to go. You got to dig deep. You got to go deep. But it involves pain. It involves discomfort. It involves getting out of your comfort zone. We're so accustomed to the things around us. Right here, right now in COVID-19, this great pandemic, what is it doing? It's taking you out of your comfort zone. It's making you move in a way you never moved before. What would happen if you just went with it? What would happen if you just went with this COVID-19, this great pandemic that's going on right now? What would happen if you moved out of your comfort zone right now instead of just sitting at home? What if you actually did something? What if you got into your closet and gave it to the Spirit? You said, well, right now I'm suffering. Right now I'm going through family issues. Right now I'm going through financial issues. Like the Spirit doesn't know that. It knows that you're going through issues. The thing is, it wants you to be persistent. It wants you to get into the closet. It wants you to get into His Word. The Spirit wants you to start digging. This is all acts of digging when you allow the Spirit to come into your life. It's digging. We can't go straight to the rock. In order to get that solid foundation, you got to go through that pain. What is it? When you take the plow, when you take the shovel, and you begin to dig, but if you look back, you're not even worthy of it. You're not even worthy of the kingdom. You're not even worthy for the deep things because you stop. But what if you kept going? What if you kept going? Those obstacles, all those rocks and boulders and clay and concrete when you're digging. in your life. Those represent obstacles in your life, hard times. But what if you kept going? What if it didn't matter to you all the obstacles that came your way? You kept persistent. You kept going. You kept reading His Word. You kept going. You got out of your comfort zone. You allowed the Spirit to make choices in your life that you never thought you'd make. Choices that brought you freedom, because now you were allowing the Spirit to make those choices for you. Now, the thing about it is, when we make our own choices in times of trouble, in times of crisis, when we make our own choices, we're not in freedom, because we're leading ourselves and we're not allowing the Spirit to lead us. But when you let the Spirit lead you and you're in prayer, when you let the Spirit lead you, I'm going to tell you, it becomes a realm of freedom, an arena of freedom like you never dreamed, like you never seen before in your life. Just by reading His Word, opening up His Word, and obeying what He says. They call it the Beatitudes that He preached. Every principle that He preached on the Beatitudes, if you would keep those sayings, if you would keep every saying that He said, how far can you be in the Spirit and in the deep things? How many visions do you think God will give you if you just kept His Word? If you kept every word, it didn't matter the crisis. It didn't matter what happened in your family. It didn't matter what happened on the job. It didn't matter what happened on your school campus. It didn't matter what happened in your church. If you kept focus and you stepped persistent, standing persistent in digging, because that's what we should be doing. Jesus said, go deep. You said, well, it's not for everybody. It's not. Digging deep is not for everybody. But for those of you that are called to go, for those of you that are chosen, what if you just did it? You say, well, I'm chosen, so it should automatically happen. It's not that easy. If you're chosen, if you are a chosen child of God to go deep, you have to make decisions in your life that are going to make you feel uncomfortable. Now, whatever that decision is, that's between you and God. If it's to change jobs, if it's to go to a different school, maybe further away from where you're at, if it's to go to another church, I don't know. That's between you and the Spirit. But the Spirit, when you go deep, when the Spirit will do things and make decisions for you that you never thought. It makes you feel uncomfortable, but hey, what would life be if you were always comfortable? It's about going deep. It's about digging. Hey, I know it's painful. Life is tough. Life is very difficult. But give it to God. And every step you take, follow His Word. As you're reading the Word, follow the Word. Apply it to your life. Let it activate in you, in your life. I want to tell you, He will take you places you never thought you'd go. You'll see things you never thought you'd see. Your confidence will rise in you. You won't rely on man. You'll begin to rely on the Spirit. And the Spirit will take you. That's deep. Digging to go deep. God bless you.